We start off, we talked about Kevin Durant, and even though the injury is not as bad as we expected, as most people thought, he won't be back for the rest of this series. He'll be reevaluated next week. But Game 6 is Friday, and Game 7, if necessary, is Sunday. So Kevin Durant is out for the rest of this series. So the question is, can the Golden State Warriors beat the Houston Rockets without their best player, Kevin Durant? Charles Barkley, legendary player, now a legendary broadcaster.
But not a legendary predictor of games.
No, not at all. Here's what he had to say.
The Warriors ain't got no chance of winning without Kevin Durant.
This series?
This series or any other series. Kevin Durant made them unbeatable. They are not going to beat.
Difference between unbeatable and can't win a series.
They're not going to beat the Rockets without KD, and they're not going to beat Portland or Denver without KD.
We way ahead of it.
That's how important he is. He made them a dynasty. Let's don't sleep on that. People say, well, they won one. They did. They was terrific. And they won 7-2. They lost that series. But that was like 5 years ago. People act like that was 2 years ago. They did not become a juggernaut until KD got there. Everybody who knows basketball, he's the guy who made them a dynasty.
Look, Charles Barkley is one of the best players I've ever seen play, and he is excellent TV. But he don't know what he's talking about.
I'll tell you this. The only thing I will give him is how Kevin Durant took this team and made it, or, helped to propel it. But the idea that they can't win a game with 2 games left in the series, even without him, is crazy, because they didn't win every game even when they had Kevin Durant. Do you know what I mean? So the whole notion, and Kevin Durant's had some bad nights as well, and they still won basketball games. The notion that you can't win a game or one game, or that Houston has been so impressive that you can't believe that they should have won last night, Chris. What did everybody talk about a year ago? If Chris Paul didn't get hurt, they would have won last year, right? So last night, Kevin Durant's down. And he came out of the game in the third quarter where they should have
plenty of time.
Plenty of time to beat them without Kevin Durant. And they couldn't do it.
But beyond that, this is a fundamental misunderstanding of the Warriors. If anyone who says they can't Houston's a very good team. And I'm not saying I'm guaranteeing you that
Nobody's
the Warriors will
win
this series. But they certainly can, and I think they will. And to say they can't, none of their players that were critical members of that 2015 team that won the championship and 2016 team that, let's face it, Rob, and I think you agree with me, won 73 games, not 72 like Barkley said, 73, an NBA record. And with all due respect to LeBron, Kyrie, the Cleveland Cavaliers, that was a great achievement. But does anybody really believe that they would have won that series if Draymond Green isn't suspended for Game 5? So that team was very capable of winning 2 straight championships without Kevin Durant.
Well, they were capable, but the only problem
they beat a great that Oklahoma City team with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and Serge Ibaka and Steven Adams. That was a great team. They had these Warriors down 3-1, and they came back and beat them. So, look, Kevin Durant is a luxury. He's not a necessity to this team.
No,
their record over the last 3 years without Kevin Durant, with Steph Curry and without Kevin Durant, you want to guess what it is?
I'm sure it's fine.
It's more than fine. It's 29-4.
But the only difference I would tell you.
Let me finish. Their offensive rating, their defensive rating, their net rating, their field goal percentage, opponent field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, opponent 3-point field goal percentage are all better when Steph is there and KD is not versus when KD is there and Steph is not. KD is the best player on the team. It's Steph's team. Steph is the most important player on that team.
Where we disagree is he's bigger than you're giving him. I don't care about that 29-4. You just Steph and the other guard,
Klay
Thompson, each scored 25, right? Or they
had 25 last
25
night.
each,
well,
right?
20. I think Klay had 27. And Steph
when you
had
look
25.
at some of them, it's not the same. Those guys haven't been those guys over the last few years.
Because they've been deferring to Kevin
No,
Durant.
it's not just that.
No,
I mean,
it is just
Steph
that.
Curry hasn't been good. Even
Good?
most
Wait,
of-
stop.
He
Good?
wasn't good.
He hasn't been good?
The first part of the game, he wasn't good last night.
Oh, okay. I thought you said over the last few
I'm
years.
talking
That's
about,
what you said.
I'm talking
over the last few years.
Was he good last night in the beginning of that game?
He was all right.
He didn't
Clay
play
was
well.
good. Clay was good.
And he played better. Clay
and then
started.
you turned on and then what happened? When Kevin
just
Durant
saying,
goes out, he turned on the clock.
I'm gonna tell you,
Turned on the switch.
I don't trust Steph Curry like this is 4-5 years ago. I don't trust Steph Curry like that.
Why
I don't
not?
think because I don't think he's been that player. And you know what? You could tell him that he could just flip the switch on and take over
Did he
his
do
team
that
again.
last night?
They won the game. He played well.
No.
He won the game
he
last night.
played well? He
Yeah,
carried
played
him.
well. He played
He
well.
had 14 points after Kevin Durant got
He
hurt.
played well. I said he played
That's
well.
more than playing well.
But I'm not buying. I'm not all into Steph. I'm just saying I still think that they can win this series without Kevin Durant because those guys are good enough. They are good enough. And Houston's not what people think they are. People keep making excuses for Houston. Oh, they're this. Oh, they would have won last year. Last night showed me all I need to know about Houston. They should have smelled blood and pounced on the Warriors if it was all about Kevin Durant and last year not winning because their guy Chris Paul got hurt. They had their opportunity right there in that game to change the whole series and then go back home and knock the Warriors out, and they couldn't do it.
Well, I agree.
Couldn't do
I
it.
agree with you that Chris Paul obviously came up small, shot 3 for 14. The last 3 games, he's averaged 13.6 assists and 33%
And Harden in the
shooting.
fourth quarter, where was he?
Well, James Harden didn't take over. And the thing, look, last 7 minutes of the game, they got some good shots. Eric Gordon hit some big shots. Harden made a nice pass to Capella. What stunned me was not just that Harden wasn't shooting. It was the way they played. All season, all postseason, all of that game last night until the last 8 minutes, it was Harden bringing the ball up the court, doing his thing, one-on-one, ISO, and creating for himself and everybody else. The last 7 minutes, it wasn't that. The ball wasn't even in his hands.
I didn't get it either.
It wasn't just that he wasn't shooting. It wasn't that he was driving and kicking. He was off the ball for the most part. Chris Paul had the ball. Eric Gordon brought the ball up court 2 straight times. When has that happened?
But I don't understand if you're hard in that situation, knowing what you mean, knowing what you're capable of. I've seen this guy tear down teams in the fourth quarter. Remember that comeback against the Knicks? They were down by I'm thinking of another game. They were down big, and he just took over.
The Knicks?
No, it wasn't the Knicks. It was another game.
A regular season game?
No, it was another game where he came back. But I'm going to say this. He did not look like he wanted to do that last night for whatever reason, and didn't have the ball in his hands like I thought he would.
But see, that's
what I didn't get.
And this is what I think you and Charles Barkley are missing. This is what happened to the Warriors when they got KD. KD is the best player, and they saw it. He's better than Steph. He's better than Clay. And over time, they began to defer to him. And when they deferred to him, they still could win because everybody was so talented. But they played differently. We've talked about it. It's all why they almost lost to Houston last year, because they played a lot of ISO. They were going back and forth between Warriors basketball, which is ball and player movement, and ISO basketball, which Kevin Durant going ISO. We've seen it this postseason. It's the same thing, when you're playing with a guy, you recognize he's superior, it's natural to defer. Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh did it to LeBron in Miami after a while. Yo, this dude's so good, let's just defer. And that's fine, but the problem is that's not Warriors basketball. And they have been beatable with Kevin Durant. They were beatable last year when they barely beat Houston in 7 games. Because that's not their style. Now, they flipped the switch last night.
That's great that it's not their style, but they won 2 championships.
Can they flip the switch?
And he was the MVP.
No, it's just, look, if LeBron James had gone.
No, but I'm just saying, Chris, I got you.
No, you don't have me.
Yes,
Let
I
me
do.
finish my statement before you interrupt me. If LeBron James went there last year instead of Kevin Durant, the Golden State Warriors would still win championships because they'd have an overwhelming amount of talent, but they would play completely differently. Steph and Clay would be glorified spot-up shooters, and LeBron would be creating for everybody. Now, they'd be so good they'd win, but we wouldn't think Steph and Clay were as good as they really are because they have to defer. And now I'm saying they're going to emerge. Those two will step up, and Steph will be getting to play like he used to play. Clay will be getting to play like he used to play, and they will still have a chance to win this championship. Mark a brother's words.
I'm not saying that they don't have a chance. I think they do. But I think you're overvaluing Steph. I don't think Steph's the same guy.
He's only a two-time MVP.
I'm just saying.
They're not old,
They're not the same. No, but I'm just saying he's not the same guy.
They don't look the same because they don't have to do as much.
No, even when he shoots those crazy three-point shots that he used to take.
He's still a 41% shooter from three.
But I'm talking about those shots don't go down like they used to. They used to be crazy shots.
You're talking about this series.
And now when you look at them, you go, that's a bad shot. You know why it's a bad shot?
No,
they were bad before, but they used to go down. They don't go down like they used to.
His shooting percentage
That's the difference.
Is still he led the Warriors in scoring this year.
That's good. But
what are you talking about?
I'm telling you, he don't make those shots he used to make.
You just throwing junk out of
midair.
I'm not. Go ahead
you.
And get ready for your
Flintstones
debut. All right?
He's not. He's not the same threat.
Hit us up. 877-99 on Fox. 877-996.
Scored 25, not 45.
Can I give out the number?
Chris is making it like he scored 45 last night and made every shot. He scored 25.
Rob G, will you take him out and get him ready for his
25
Flintstones
points. He's so
debut?
great.
Can I give the
God.
Go ahead.
877-99 on Fox.
Read the tees.
No, I can't.
No, read the tees.
My glasses aren't on.
We threw it out to you. What do you think of the Warriors without KD? Am I right? I think they still are a great team. Or is Rob right? Yeah, they can scrape by with a victory, but they're not the same. Let's go to Jeff in Indianapolis. Jeff, you're on with Chris and Rob.
Hey, what's up? Hey, you guys are both right, okay? Because here's the thing, is that now that, yes, the Steph and Clay and them are going to be playing much better now. They don't have to worry about KD. But what you forgot is over the last 2 or 3 years, the entire league, all GMs have been doing is rebuilding their teams for this style of play. So they don't have that same margin of advantage they used to have.
That's a great point. The league hasn't caught up with Golden State, but they are catching up. There's no doubt about that.
Hey, Jeff.
That's a good point.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the call. What about Marty in Kentucky? You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. Let me guess, you're with Chris.
You know it, Rob. I am 100%.
Because Marty's one of our smarter callers.
Marty, the next time I come to Kentucky and I go to the original Kentucky Fried Chicken off the highway, I'm not coming to see you.
Oh man, you're breaking my heart. I gotta tell you, I saw Chris's take today on Undisputed, and I was just like, man, he's got this one right on. And the reason I feel that way is because the first year that Durant played with the Warriors and they went to the playoffs, they really stuck with their style and they moved the ball and they went 16-1. In the second year, they started moving more toward the ISO. It's easy to do when a player's so great. And this year, it's the first option, and he is a luxury, and the ISO is a luxury. And you should treat it like a luxury and go to it when needed, at the end of quarters, at the end of games when you need a big shot.
Hey, Marty.
Marty is great.
Marty.
Good job, Marty.
What's Steph shooting from three-point? Marty, what's Steph shooting from three-point land in this series?
Well, they
in the playoffs, right? In the playoffs.
Not well at all, but they haven't been playing Steph's style of game.
Thank you.
And
Rob doesn't know anything about that.
Marty,
he don't want to hear the real facts.
I'm asking you about what is his shooting percentage from three in this series. That's all. You smell that? That's Steph Curry, 26%. 26%. He's the greatest shooter of all time, Chris Broussard keeps telling me.
Is he not?
He's shooting. He's not.
Oh, really? Who's better?
I'm waiting for him to make a big shot in a big game. When he makes that, then I'll consider it.
Who's the better
Ray Allen. I would give Ray Allen the ball anytime over Steph Curry in a big moment. Not even close.
Let's go to Mark.
Not even close.
Let's go to Mark in San Francisco.
He saved LeBron James' career.
You can yell all you want. That doesn't make you right, all right? You happy with yourself? You patting yourself on the back?
Good.
Mark, San Francisco, go ahead.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Hey, yo, Chris, in 2015, the Warriors played Big 3 against Big 1 against LeBron, and they won 4-2.
Yeah.
Then the next year, they played 3 against 3, and they had a 3-1 lead, and they lose all 3 games. That's why Dre called KD to come help them. Now they're 8-1 in 2 finals. They were 7-6, 1-1. and Curry hasn't shot 50% in any finals in like 3 years. They need KD, so stop acting like they don't need him. They need KD.
No
the Jackson
doubt.
5 needs Michael.
If Draymond, let me ask you this.
No doubt, Mark. Those are facts.
If Draymond Green hadn't been suspended in Game 5, you think the Warriors lose that series?
Draymond
Real
Green
talk.
wasn't suspended. Draymond Green was not suspended in Game
No,
6.
you're right. You're right.
6
You're
or
right.
7.
And I give the Cavaliers credit. Just answer my question.
I'm
That
asking you the question.
changed.
If me- I'm asking you the question.
Completely. I asked you a question. You want answered or not?
I'm asking you. Let me answer it. If me and you went out twice,
Don't
to go
give
out
me
and
no
get girls,
analogies. If Draymond Green was not suspended for Game 5, that changed the momentum. That gave the Cavs hope. Do you think Cleveland would have won that series?
Chris, you did not beat them Game 6 or 7 when you was 3 against 3.
If you're not going to answer the question,
100%,
we got
Mark.
to say peace.
I think that's the part that people keep always talking about is that team hadn't lost more than 2 games in a row all year, and they lost 3 in a row to lose the finals, and they lost 2 of those 3 at home. They choked. They choked in that series.
Just like Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook choked the series
They
before?
choked. Absolutely, that was
Okay.
a choke
All
job.
right. I'm
Up
glad
3
you
to 1.
admitted it.
I'm always admitting it. Hey, I'm a straight shooter.
Yeah, okay.